if you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. Well, I can call you Betty, and Betty you can call me. You can call me Al. Call me Al.
This is Call Me Al with Al Iaquinta.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
We're back. What's up, Aaron?
Not much, man. It's a little rainy day here in Missouri. What's going on with you?
Just got done with a pad session with Ray Longo. It was like summer here on Long Island today. It was 80-something degrees. It had to be like 85 degrees. It was crazy. I was stuck in traffic all day driving to Staten Island on the Belt Parkway. Good riddance to that thing, the Belt Parkway. Jesus.
Is it going away?
It's the Belt Parkway is, I time it so I go when there's no traffic, and when there's no traffic, there's still traffic.
Wow.
And the people driving on the Belt Parkway are the kind of people that you just want to play bumper cars with. You know? It's like, just we're all going to get there. Relax. Don't be cutting me off and doing daring maneuvers trying to drive here. But we survived. We made it. Sports Science Lab, Staten Island. Place is great. Had a great workout. Made it back just in time for a little pad session with Ray Longo. And now we're here. And I'm looking forward to our guest today, Jason Griggs, real estate mogul.
Al, you like my shirt that I wore with this?
Let's not wait and let's bring him on right now. There he is. Las
What's
Vegas,
up, man? How we doing?
Long Island's own Jason Griggs. What's up, dude? Good to see you.
Thank you for having me, man. This is awesome.
No, I'm excited to talk and dig in on what you have going on, because obviously follow you on Instagram and see what you got going on. And I think the people that tune in here will be inspired by your story, as I am every day watching your posts on Twitter. It seems like you're just going bigger and bigger and more. It's cool to see. I'm looking forward to hearing what your plans are, what your first off, how you got to where you are, and now what your plans are with this new property. You just bought a new property.
Yep, we did. First, I wore my Raging Al shirt for this. See?
Oh yeah, that's the old school one, right? That's old. That's OS. That's when you know guy's been around for a minute.
Big Raging Al fan. You know, I'm a little surprised you call it podcast Same Al podcast.
Oh, the Same Al podcast could be. People call, so people call in. We throw up a number, and some of the fans and the viewers, they call in. So that that's how I gave it the Call Me Al and the song, the Paul Simon, you know. But the Same Al podcast, I like it. I like it too.
Let's go, man. Let's dig into real estate. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah, 100%. This is if you guys think real estate is boring, tune out right now, because this is not going to be a boring real estate show. This is going to be the Jason Griggs show. This guy's got some serious things going on out in Las Vegas. So I already told everybody you just purchased this new, but let's start from the beginning real quick. Just give everybody a rundown. You lived on Long Island. You moved out to Vegas. Why did you move out at first? And then we'll go from there.
So I finished up college at Adelphi. I got my master's. I got a phys ed degree at Adelphi. And then my buddy was living out here, and I kept coming to visit him, and I was hooked. I was hooked on Vegas, the nightlife, everything about it. I was just intrigued by the city. And after grad school, market crashed at that time, and it was the worst in Vegas. And so I convinced my cousin to buy me a condo in Vegas next to my friend. He bought it for 50 grand, around there, 48 grand. And the rest is history. I moved out. I was 22 or 23. I taught for a year. And then I just started working around town, a few of the hotels. And I got hooked into a really good situation at high school. I coach high school lacrosse. And I met the networking was amazing when you coach and you meet the parents that live here. And I became hooked, and I moved to Henderson, and I got involved in real estate about 6 years ago now. And I haven't looked back since, and it's been the best decision I've ever made.
And you were promoting the clubs, right? You're doing the club promoting. That's got to be another great way to market, network with people.
Yeah, I found this little niche where people were visiting a lot, and Vegas is like the mecca of that. And I was the guy who, I know people around here and I can make things happen, and it kind of just expanded from that. And I have a big network within the nightlife scene, and I kind of translated that into real estate. And now what I'm seeing is that now my network is coming full circle with New York and investing in real estate.
You said the network is coming full circle from New York?
Yes.
Like people moving out to Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, people, where we're from, Al, it's expensive, and people are trying to get out of New York and try something different. And I found that with Vegas and Henderson, it's kind of like a newer booming city, and with California kind of in trouble a little bit, it's very similar to New York. People are leaving, and Vegas is exploding. And
you're in with the UFC crew. You got Aljamain Sterling, his house out there.
Yeah, we got Aljamin's house, which was awesome. Love having him here. We're working on Mr. Merab right now as we speak. It's a dangerous profession, real estate, so you need some protection. You need these guys to kind of go to these houses with you just in case. But I love moving people to Vegas, especially guys from home like those guys. And I guess I kind of have like this little niche with the fighters and helping them out, and I love it.
And was it Tim Elliott too?
Yeah, I got to help. Tim was my first one, and it was a pretty cool story. And this is just the power of Instagram. I met Tim, posted a house, and he wanted to buy it, and I messaged him. I said, "Hey, I am a huge fan of yours. Do not buy that house." It was in a really good area, and he's like, "Can you help me?" And I was like, "Sure." So we linked up with him, and he was kind of like my first professional athlete that I worked with, and I helped him out and his fiance Gina, and they bought a nice house in Henderson. Now they're kind of getting into what I'm doing with these Airbnbs.
So we're definitely going to go into that, but
yeah.
So the first year that you were selling real estate, was there a learning curve? Were you having any sort of tough time, or right off the bat you were just deals flying,
So it's a great question. The first year, I got a few deals the first year, and they say the average agent only gets like 4 or 5. But I kind of got in at a really good time. Not a lot of people were doing it, and I was super aggressive about it. I was always posting about it, and I had a lot of people from New York buying here just for investment purposes. So I did that. And then I think the thing that took me over the top was I started buying my own real estate, and I bought a few houses to rent, and they were great investments. And that was something that really took off where, yeah, I'm an agent, but I'm also a big investor here, and people like to see that, and they trust people who also invest. And so it kind of just took off from there.
Yeah, like they see you're practicing what you preach. You tell people you can find them a good deal. They know because you're getting them for yourself. So you were selling real estate for how long? You were putting all that money right back into houses?
Yeah, I still go by this game plan I set up for myself. Every time I save up a certain number in my savings, I try to invest it in another property. And I've been doing that for 5 years straight, and it's worked out really well. I have a lot of properties now because I think the biggest problem that I see with regular people is they don't know what to do with their money. They have the money, it's in their account, but it's not making them more money. It's not making them grow. And so I figured out, well, if I buy a property and then I'll do another one and I'll keep doing this, and you have a nice portfolio after a certain amount of time, and now I'm fully invested. And now I'm not even just investing here in Vegas anymore. I'm investing in other states, and it's pretty cool.
Oh wow, where are you looking at other than Vegas?
I'm dialed in now on Kansas City.
Okay.
Kansas City is my new little market that I'm kind of dabbling into.
Isn't that James Krause territory? No.
Yeah. Well, Tim lives there now too. But James.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. So they're there, and I have a buddy from Belmore that lives there too, and he's kind of my boots on the ground. And there's a big guy here who does a lot of investing there. So Vegas has become so popular and hot that the prices have kind of skyrocketed. So you got to kind of pivot and look at other things to kind of take advantage of, and that's what I'm doing now.
These houses. So you started off, and how did you learn the process of buying and then renting? What was your game plan? Did you renovate? Were you buying just the first one? Give us a little back. Give me. I'm curious. I want to know what's the strategy going in, and what have you learned since then? Okay,
great question. One day I was at the office and I saw a house. It was for $250,000. I called my cousin, who is a sharp dude with investing, and I was like, "Look, if we buy this house, what do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's buy it." So we split it. The house is worth around $500 now. So this is only 5 years ago, so it doubled in price, and we just rent it. It's a very simple model, and I manage it all myself, all my houses. So I'm very involved in the process of finding tenants, and they're basically paying off your house. That's it. It's not rocket science. You buy a house. I didn't fix this one up at all. I put some new appliances in it, nothing crazy, and I just rented it. And I keep renting it every year. I've had great tenants in it. It's right around the street from where I live, and yeah, that's it.
So have you any kind of cash flow, or you're just getting that mortgage paid down? Refinances, anything in the plans there, or you're just kind of renting it until that mortgage is up, and then you got owned outright? Yeah. So the cash flow thing always works for me, and it still does. So what Al is saying, after your down payment, your mortgage is going to be, I'll just use this one for example. It was $1,300 is our mortgage payment, and we started renting it out for $1,800. So we profited $500 every single month. And now the rent has gone up so much where we charge $2,600 a month for the same house, and it's gone up $250,000. That's how powerful the real estate, if you get into a good market, can be. And luckily, I got in at a good time. But yeah, my strategy is always this: when you buy a house, it needs to cash flow a little bit, just so you could cover your mortgage, and then you also can look at the appreciation factor of the house. Because you could buy a house for $100,000 off, and if it doesn't really cash flow that well, that's still okay. And so both of those avenues you have to look at before you do it, and that's what I do. Beautiful. So you're managing them all yourself? Yes. Oh man, you must have some horror stories, no? You know what? I don't. I don't, and I'm gonna use an analogy that I think is pretty fair to use and comparable. When you are vetting out a tenant, it's like you're dating that person, because you're going to be in the relationship with them for the year or 2 years, whatever. So you want to upfront make sure that, okay, I like this person and I'm going to rent my house to them. And I've made a few mistakes, but what I found is that when you meet the people in person, you can tell right away. You could tell within the first 10 seconds, like this person's going to be a problem versus
this person isn't going to be a problem. And my goal is always to keep one tenant in that house for as long as I can. Because when you turn over houses a lot, things break and it costs more. So my strategy has been to fix the house, make it as nice as possible, and then make it attractive enough so they never want to leave. And I think the second part to it is the people love the fact that I'm available to them at 24/7. If they text me, I take care of it. They don't have to deal with this property management who overcharges them. That's annoying. That's a pest. So I think a lot of people like that when they go to rent my house.
What's the furthest house? Like how far away distance wise? Like if a drive time?
That's a good point. You know, I keep all my houses. I try to in Henderson because that's where I live.
So, nice.
That's near my office, but like there's deals everywhere. So you can't turn down a deal because it's an hour away or 45 minutes away. Yeah, it's annoying and you don't want to drive there 3 or 4 times a day if something's wrong. But once you get it rolling and you have it systemized, like it's fine. It's not like overcomplicated. You're just taking, I always say on the first of the month, I go to my mailbox and I collect my rents. And that's really the whole business of it.
So they're mailing their rents to you.
Yeah, it's an old school like mailbox money where
Old school way.
every first you go to your mailbox and all the checks are there. So some people do mail the checks, but there's other ways to collect the rent.
Yeah, I mean, well, now with they're gonna start taxing, I guess, the PayPal and Venmo and so that kind of with my rentals, they would just pay me through Venmo. It's the easiest thing. First of the month, boom, it's in there.
So I'll give you a little tip all the people who are listening, they could do this. Zillow Rental Manager is free, and you could collect rent from them, and you could also list your property and run your you could vet out your tenants, run their credit, background, everything on Zillow Rental Manager, and that's what I do. So you could actually collect rent and they won't charge you.
Wow, look at that. Zillow Rental Manager is free to the people out there listening. I'm going to use it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
So are all of these properties, are they year terms with the rentals?
Yes. Yep, the ones we're talking about now, I only do a yearly rental on it. I try to do longer, not more than 2 years, but 1 to 2 years, because you do longer than 2 years, we're just in such a fast appreciating market that the rents just keep going up and up and up. So if you tie up the person for too long, you won't be able to make a little bit more money. But I'm always in the seat of I'd rather make less money for a better tenant. And I think a lot of people are opposite of me. So I always make sure that I got the right tenant, because I have tenants that I've never raised their rent, and I probably won't because they're just so I never hear from them, and it's worth it to do it that way.
Aaron, what do you think about this, huh? This guy's doing some big stuff.
This is amazing. Somebody just asked a good question too. I'd like to know: Are you putting all these properties in your name, or did you create an LLC for it?
It's a great question. It's both. Some are in my name. When you put the property in the LLC, it does shell it and protect it. I have partners in some of my homes, and that's a great way to ensure that you're both protected. You put both your LLCs on, or you both go together and create your own LLC. But I would say 90% of my properties are in an LLC. Yes.
Oh, awesome. I'm soaking this all in. So I'm in Missouri also, about probably 3.5 hours away from Kansas City. So I'm starting to try to get into Airbnbs like around the lake, the Ozarks and whatnot. I'm trying to buy up condos, so I don't have to messing with the lawn or any of that outdoor stuff. or any of that. And I want them to all be in the same place so I can have like the same cleaning company and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so the Airbnb, we'll get into that, the Airbnbs in a minute, but that's a different model. That's a different business. When you buy an Airbnb, it's like you're buying a hotel. When you buy a house, you're buying a house. So two totally separate things. And this is what I get this all the time. People are like, I want to get to real estate. I want to get into it. I want to learn it. If you really want to learn how to do it, just buy one house and rent it for 1 year and see how it goes. Make sure that you buy in the best area that you could possibly buy. Do not buy in a lower class area to start, because you will have a nightmare. You'll have a nightmare of a process of the way it works. So my strategy has always been buy real estate in the best possible area that I could buy in, because those will attract the best tenants that you could get.
Wow. Sounds like some really good advice.
I think it's good. And it's not overcomplicated. I'm not like Al will attest. We grew up together. We both went to college. I didn't go to college for real estate, neither did he. And we kind of just got into this and we figured it out. And I'm not the super smartest dude in the world. I'm not some big tech, but it's there's so many different avenues of this business. And that's what I like. One year you could flip houses. The next year you could just sell real estate as an agent, or you could buy houses like I do. And so what makes me unique is that I kind of do a lot. I do a lot of those. I do a little bit of everything, and I kind of just bundle it together.
Well, sorry, one more question now, because I'm fascinated with this stuff. Most people I know are running away from rentals right now, but they're not doing your model. They're trying to find the best house for their price range, whatever neighborhood. But unfortunately, that's the kind of renters you're going to attract, and I like what you're doing with the better neighborhoods, the better types of houses.
Yeah, it's a simple process. You just buy a house. Okay, you got to make sure you could afford it. Don't go buy a crazy house. Buy something affordable. Or what I've seen a lot of people, my suggestion is you could buy a house, you could live in it, and then you could rent rooms in the house. So now you're kind of having other people pay your house off for you. And then now you could kind of do that where you save some extra money, and then you could take that money and reinvest it in another one. And then you could do it again. And you could keep doing it and doing it. And that's kind of the strategy I've done.
That was my model forever. I bought my house. Uriah Faber passed that down to me. That was, now they call it house hacking on, bigger pockets and everything. But Uriah Faber, he bought a house. He rented it out to his teammates. Bought another one, rented that out to his teammates. He had like a whole block, and he taught me a little bit of that, and I kind of replicated that here, where I bought a house. I had Aljo, I had Alp, I had Pumi and Kuda living with me, a bunch of guys, and then I would rent one room out. It kind of had a separate entrance. It was like off to the back of the house. I rented it out, Airbnb, and it was just, I was making money living there. I had a bunch of roommates at the time. I was younger. It was a good time, and I was making money living in my own house. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. And then you move, like you said, you move to a new house, and you just do it again there. You rent the place where you're at, and you just keep doing it. It's like the real life game of Monopoly. It's incredible. I love it.
It's a great example. And for guys, whoever's watching, like, we're normal people, right? We're normal people. We didn't come. I'm not rich. You're not rich. But it is a very good way to make a lot of money, because you can leverage it. And if you catch the market at the right time, then it can explode. And that's kind of what's happened to me. I got in a really good time, and I'm curious to see how it kind of goes, because Vegas is like, it just exploded so fast with the hockey and the football team that came. And so that's what's powerful, is if you could catch it at the right time. You don't need to know too much. You could buy one house, two houses, and they could go up a substantial amount. Now you have some ammo to really go into the game with.
And they're building like crazy out there in Vegas. It makes me wonder, like, can this market sustain? Is it gonna? I feel like it's just gonna keep going right? Is it going to level out? Especially, I mean,
The-
Long Island here, they've been saying forever. I mean, it feels like even since it's been a seller's market since I got in the game like 4 years ago, got my license. Seller's market, 2 years into it, the bubble. Now we're in like a bubble. The bubble's going to end. This past spring, it was absolutely insane. Houses going 40, 50, $100,000 over asking price, waiving the appraisal, waiving the inspection. Got people who they were doing anything they could to get in a house. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think for the this upcoming future?
So
year?
we're in Vegas. We're kind of like a replicate of California. So when COVID happened, California was a disaster, and what we got was everyone was moving here from California. They just had enough. The taxes, very similar to New York, and the prices skyrocketed, and they're still going up now. Finally, in this like winter-ish, fall time, it's starting to simmer down, like a little bit more realistic. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're just building and building and building, and they just can't keep up because so many people are moving here. So the demand is so high, and we have no supply. So when that happens, the prices are going to keep going up.
And that's the thing in Vegas. So I was there. I forget when I was there last with Merab, but we drove out to the mountains, and he was doing his mountain man crazy runs up to the top of this insane mountain. But on the way out there, it was just on like the outskirts where the city kind of ends and the houses. That's where they're just building out. It seems like to me, they're just going out and building entire neighborhoods.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so different from where we grew up, right? Because Long Island is Long Island. There's nowhere else to build. It's complete. It's like a sardine. You can't build another house on that island. And so when I moved here, this is cool. Like when I moved here, it was developing, but it like tripled. Like there were areas that there was nothing, dirt. And now there's casinos, houses, restaurants, bars. And that's been really cool to kind of watch that, I guess, take place.
It's like nothing was there, and it's like Vegas. I mean, that was Vegas to begin with. It was not probably one little strip, and now look at it. It's hockey teams, baseball team, it's wild, and I guess you. So how did you? Why did Vegas out of anywhere? Because your cousin lived there.
Yeah, my buddy Tommy was going to school at UNLV, and I kept coming to visit him, and he was taking me out. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, there's so much to do here. And this was during the depression of Vegas. Like, there's so much to do. It's fun. People are coming to visit all the time, and realistically, I saw that it was cheap to live here. I always had that in my mind. And like, I would rather live somewhere where I could afford rather than live in a crappy situation back home. And so that's what I decided. I said, look, I'm going to move to Vegas. It's going to be my home. And I moved my family out here from Belmore too, my brother and my wife. And we've created a really nice life here. And for anyone, my advice is just because you grew up somewhere, you don't have to stay there. And I'm an example of that. You could better your life if you want to, not all the time, but for me, it worked you could go live in a cheaper place and have some more opportunities. And that's what happened with me.
No, I love it. I'm like, I go anywhere in the world, but I always come back to Long Island, but I look up to the fact that you just like moved out to Vegas, just kind of started this whole thing, and now you're absolutely crushing. I had a question about the L. You said when you go in with a partner, you do the LLCs. How do you structure? Because I don't work with partners right now, but in the future, that's definitely something that I'm looking to do. I have I don't have any. They're all just me, but in the future, a partner is something that I'm definitely going to need to scale to a lot bigger. How do you structure that, and what do you look for when you're partnering with somebody?
Great question. So when I first started, I didn't really have a lot of money. And so what I was doing was I was looking for I would find the deal, and my agreement with them was I'll find the deal and I'll manage it, and we'll split it 50-50. And then what the LLC question is, you create what's called an operating agreement that goes with the house. And let's say you and I did one, and we say, look, if we sell it, it's 50-50 split. Or we could do 60-40, 70-30, whatever way you want to roll it. But that's it, you're protected. So no matter what, that operating agreement that you sign is in place to protect both parties. So if anything ever happens, they know that house is split evenly. And so that's the best thing, because people are always like, wow, how do you trust this person? I've invested with people I've never even met before until we created a relationship. They contacted me on Instagram. They said, look, do you like this deal? And I said, I love this deal. And we partner. There's no reason why you have to like the other person to do business, but you're protected with those operating agreements. And I've done a few deals with people that are friends. I've done deals that people I'm not friends with. And as long as the deal makes sense, I'll do it.
So let's say that something came up and you wanted to sell and a partner didn't.
Great, awesome question. That hasn't happened to me. Well, I think it's important you have to talk to your partners up front and create an exit strategy, as we call it. But you could buy the other person out. So you would get an appraisal on the house, and whatever it's worth, you would figure out your down payments, and then you would structure your buyout or their buyout based on that.
Are you refinancing any of these houses? Are you a big refinance guy, or do you kind of just keep the equity in the house and hoping to pay it off?
A lot of people ask me that. I'm not a big refinance guy, because I look at those houses as a savings account. And I'm more of the avenue of trying to pay them off as fast as possible. And the reason is, once you pay off those houses, the market could crash tomorrow. They're paid off. They can't take them from you. And what I saw, what I've heard, I didn't see this really, is that too many people were refining and just getting 100 loans on these properties. And when the market tanked, and the rents went down, they couldn't sustain it. So my first 5 properties that I have, they're pretty much all paid off. They're close, including my personal house. So once those get paid off, they can't take them from me. The market could crash. They could go in the dumps forever. I still got them. The rent will be affected a little bit, but I'll still make income on those properties.
Aaron, what was it? Aaron had a.
Okay, so what if, I guess in all these deals, do you, like, anytime you partner with somebody, do you want majority ownership? Do you want to be at least 51%? Because what if you're not the majority owner, you don't want to sell, but your partner does? And
that's come up, but it makes it more difficult in my opinion, because if I have full control, then that person doesn't have a say.
Right.
So you can't, like, if we did a deal together, I was like, all right, I get 51%. That means you have no say. And if you want to sell it, sorry, I have more control than you. So I always am upfront with my investors, and a lot of my investors are from Belmore, where I grew up. They're my friends, where they trust me. They give me some money, and I say, look, this is the deal. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? And if you don't, no big deal. I have other people who want to do it, but the people who do it, I say, look, I just did one with a friend about a year ago, and I said, look, we're going to hold this house for 5 years, no matter what. We're going to hold it for 5 years, and at a 5-year mark, we'll reevaluate. You want to sell in 5 years, great. If not, we'll keep it rolling.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Thanks for answering that.
No problem.
So you're just one partner for a house, or do you take multiple?
No, I've done deals with 2-3 people. I've gotten to bring my brother on a little bit.
Nice.
I kind of put him in charge in finding me some deals, and I'll give him a little equity stake if I buy it and I like it. But now I'm getting into these bigger ones where I have to partner with some big dogs in town, and that's been really cool. Where I'm doing the work to find these deals, but I don't have the money or I don't have all of it, so I approach them with it, or people will approach me with it. And they'll say, look, you want to do it, and we'll evaluate it, and then we'll rock and roll.
So let's talk about, is that this one that you just bought? Is that like your first? All
right, so yeah, we could get into there. So with real estate, there's so many different avenues, right? And I'm more of a holder, buy and holder. I like the rental model more than the flipping model. Because with the flipping model, if you don't get deals in your machine, then your business will fail.
Seems so stressful to me. It seems like everything's got to go right. If you mess up something, your profit, you're just watching your profit vanish.
Right.
The long-term thing it's like you can't really, as long as you, it's safer. I mean, you could hit a home run with it. But even if you buy a bad house, like if you buy a bad investment property, it's not really a bad investment property as long as you can cover the mortgage.
Yeah,
the house is going to appreciate, and that's it. Even if you don't cover the mortgage, even if you're in the hole a couple $100 a month, you're still getting that equity in the house, and eventually it's going to be paid off, and that's it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It is the safer play. And this is, when you flip houses, you have to rely on a few factors, where when you do what I do with the rental model, I'm really only relying on myself because I run everything. I did the research. I ran the rental comps. I pick who rents my house, and then it's all up to me. With flipping, if your contractor messes something up or misprices something, it could ruin everything. And that's why I like my rental model. So
Tony Bananas commented in plus the capital gains taxes on flipping.
I saw that, and that's that's not why I don't like flipping, but it is a big factor. It's a huge factor. You get crushed every time. You get crushed with. If
kind
I
of
own
is
my
a
house,
good thing though. I feel like it is kind of a good thing if you're getting taxed high, it means you're making a lot of money. Capital gains tax means you did a good job on the flip. No.
Yeah, 100%. But with my model, I don't really get. It's a tax benefit to me.
Yeah.
Every year. I'm getting a nice tax break on my properties, but it's more of the machine. And what I mean by machine is if you don't constantly have the deals to funnel into your flipping business, then it's not going to work. So yeah, what if you do one flip and it doesn't work? It ruins you, and that's what I've seen happen with flippers.
Yeah, I know a couple people. They got bailed out at the last second. They ended up breaking even, but they learned. They learned, and if it's a different niche. I guess it's just which avenue you want to go. I think the safer avenue is definitely the buy and hold.
I think for people like you and I, Al, because we're normal people. We're blue collar guys, right? Both our parents are teachers, and I didn't have any money growing up, and I moved out here. I didn't have anything, so I figured this out kind of on my own, just by trial and error. But I did try. So you have to try. You have to kind of jump into the pool to swim, or else you'll never do it. And that's the thing I see a lot in real estate, where people who want to do it is they buy these courses, they go to these classes, but they never try it. Like, try it. Buy a house and rent it. And that's the easiest way to do it. Or if you want to get a little more gutsy, you could buy a house and try to flip it and try to make some money that way. But you have to kind of be in the game to make it work, or you're just going to sit back. And I've seen so many people, they just sit back and they don't. I've asked people to invest with me a lot, and they said, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do this. And it just keeps going. It goes right by you.
Yeah. You sign the contract on that first rental property, your heart kind of sinks, and you're like, oh man, what did I get myself into? But then
Yeah,
the
and you know,
second one, and then
yeah, yeah, it's just the person who I did it with. Um, I'm very close with my cousin, and I trust him. He's my go-to guy for everything. Still, I call him. I call him every day. He's just a good business guy, and I bounce a lot of ideas off him. But it made me feel a lot better. He was in the deal. So when you are new, you could partner with a real estate agent or an investor that's more experienced, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I know a lot of agents do that. They have clients where, look, they'll take a deal and they'll sell it to their clients and say, hey, look, this is a good one, but I don't want to do it. But my thing is, I'm surprised, I'm sure you see this, how many real estate agents don't own their own home or they don't invest themselves. It's so silly to me. Like, you have the inside tip, you have all the info, you have all the education, and people just don't take advantage of it as much as I think they should.
yeah, I mean that's the whole. For me, the selling of the houses, as an agent, is great, but you get that inside. You know the market top to bottom. When there's a deal out there, you're the first. As long as you're doing your job the right way, you're the first person to see that pop up on MLS. You're the person that's getting these kind of like inside deals, the off market properties and stuff like that. You're getting first crack at it. And like you said, if you don't have the money, you have the knowledge. You find somebody with money, you split it with them, or you partner in some way. Yeah, I think if you're an agent, you got to be. That's something that, and some people just they have no interest. But yeah, for me, that's you're dropping the ball on a huge, like it's like your retirement. You want to be selling houses for forever. You have a few decent cash flowing properties, then like you pay those off, and you're just managing properties. Is all passive. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll give you two examples. So one, I mean, the way people make money in this industry is they own real estate, right? They don't sell real estate. The big dogs own real estate. And yeah, it's cool to post on Instagram that you sold a house and I sold this many houses this year. But when you calculate it versus what you own, that's the real factor. And I'm glad you brought up the retirement thing, because I was at home this past week, and I don't know why, but my mom's retirement, she was, teacher for 40 years, and I saw her retirement,
Nice.
and I was like blown away how little it was. And I'm like, wow, you got to work all those years. And I'm 34, and I'm like, wow, like my properties would blow this away, no matter what. Once you get those things paid off, it would blow it away. And I was explaining it to her, but it's like kind of like the W-9 versus W-2 conversation.
Yeah, they just don't get it.
They just don't get it, and she still doesn't get it. And I'm like, look, like, this is way more powerful than you going to work every day. So it is hard to kind of, but that was the best thing I ever did, was go on my own and work for myself. And it's hard for people to kind of comprehend that or understand it, but once you get in the groove of it, there's no turning back.
Talk about that, because I came from, my parents were both teachers, get a good job, benefits,
Yep.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was like, I didn't even know that I didn't even know. This is stuff that, my parents didn't know. There's no way they could teach me. I was lucky. I was fortunate that I worked at a gym, a Militich affiliate gym, where the owners were very business savvy, and they kind of exposed me to the whole other side of things. And they were the ones that suggested I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Read it, and it just, at the time I didn't really understand it, but it opened my eyes to a whole new like world of the other side, opposite of job benefits, that whole thing. So how did you break free from that kind of like getting that passed down
Yeah, I think I learned it on my own. Because my mom, she'll still tell me, go get a job and get retirement. Her line was always, you get summers off when you're a teacher. But you know what, Al? Like you and I, we wake up every day, we could do whatever we want, right? We
It's
could
true.
go train, we both like to coach and we both like real estate. We could not work if we don't want to. I know we do like to work, but I think the freedom and that book will go down as one of the like life-changing things for entrepreneurs in history, because that guy breaks it down so well, having the two parents, and usually don't get the two parents, right? It's usually like both my parents were teachers. So that it was the set retirement way, summers off. I didn't have the other way. I kind of learned the other way just by meeting people and networking, where I'm like these people, they have the nice car, they have the nice house, they don't really work a lot. And they have people working for them to do everything. And that's where I found it.
Yeah, so for everybody listening out there, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. The premise of the book is his father was like our parents, teachers, and it's funny because my dad says the same thing. I'm like I'll be kind of like complaining. Oh, I'm so beat up. He goes, why don't you just get a job? I'm like frustrated about a tenant or something, and we talk about everything, and he's just, why don't you should just go back to school, get a job. I look at him, I go, are you kidding? But Robert Kiyosaki had his one father was a teacher and was poor dad, but he calls him poor dad, but I don't know if he was really poor. I think he was just kind of like maybe low middle class, kind of, not
Yeah,
like
he was they call it he was a working man, right?
yeah,
Like in Bronx.
exactly. Worked till he was 65, 60, whatever, and then retired. And his friend's father was businessman, entrepreneur, real estate owner, and he ended up working for his friend's father and learning just the entire other side of things, how to make money work for yourself, assets, liabilities, the definition of an asset and a liability for somebody who's got a job with benefits is way different than for an entrepreneur and somebody that is a real estate investor. And it just goes back and forth about the struggles of his dealing with his father, his real father, and then his rich dad and his poor dad. And it's an incredible book. If you haven't read it, definitely suggest it. It's really, I credit it with. I mean, I've had a few people that's Uriah Faber one, seeing him, how he operates. I was lucky enough to have him as a coach on The Ultimate Fighter, and then I went out and trained with him, and I saw everything he had going on. But before that, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I didn't really understand it. I read it now, and I've read. That's the only book that I think I've read more than I've read like three or four times. It's an easy read. It's nothing crazy. They got a lot of drawings. It's cool. You look at the drawings, the cash flow quadrants.
Yeah.
So it's I think that was like the biggest thing, is an eye opener. I read it when I was like, I don't know, 19 years old. Didn't get it, but I kind of started to get it. And then seeing Uriah Faber, ended up reading the book again. And now I think I still probably need to read it like 2 or 3 more times before I really get it. But it's what a great book.
Yeah, the whole premise of the book is that like you need to like get things going so that you don't have to work. And the two they're different. The one guy works and the other guy doesn't feel like he works. And so I think I'm at a point where I don't feel like I work. I wake up, I do what I got to do. I got my projects going on, but if I'm not feeling it, I don't have to go. I don't have to go crazy. And that's the power of kind of being an entrepreneur with real estate.
Brian Redband comments, Al likes picture books. Confirmed. Makes it a hell of a lot easier for me. I'm not the savvy reader, but Rich Dad Poor Dad, I definitely can get through. That's one that gets me.
No, it's a great book. I recommend it.
Definitely for everybody. Let's talk about this Airbnb now. Let's do it, man.
I'm
throw this
fired
thing
up
up
about it.
here. I want to throw this
Fired
thing
up.
up. Well, I think we got some pictures of it. Maybe not.
I couldn't
Maybe
upload
not.
it, like,
No upload of the pictures. They're beautiful. If you go on Jason Griggs, is it on your
Jay Griggs
Instagram?
Real Estate, yep. Jay Griggs,
Jay Griggs
Real Estate.
at Jay Griggs Real Estate. You check out. You got pictures of it up on Instagram. Not yet.
Yep, they're all on there. I'm gonna be doing like a big kind of unveiling of the whole process of it, but I'll backtrack a little bit. I saw a little niche that really wasn't being tapped into too much. A lot of people are visiting. I'm like, do you have any places to stay? I don't want to stay a whole year. I want to stay a few months. I want to stay a week. And I got into these Airbnbs. We call them short-term rentals, and they have exploded. They've exploded here in Henderson in Las Vegas. So I bought 5 this year, from
Jesus.
January till now. And I just when I see something that I think is going to be good, I go all in on it, and then I get all my friends in on it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now, where I'll buy a property, I'll remodel it, I will make it as beautiful as I can. Where in my mind, I'm like, if I stayed here, what would I want to have? I want the pool table, I want the beer pong, I want the pool, the hot tub. I want it to be here. I want amenities. So that's what I'm doing now. And that house that you saw that you're referring to, it's an 8,800 square foot mansion. It's 9 bedrooms. It's going to have full basketball court, full volleyball court. Just an ultimate like pad where people could come and be with their friends and their family and just have a good time. And so I bought that kind of to have for access for myself, and also to it's a business. You're buying legitimately like a hotel, but it's a house, and you run it like that.
And it's the beautiful thing about Airbnb is that you can kind of buy a hotel without buying a big, huge hotel.
Yeah.
It's like your little hotel. And love Airbnb, love everything about it. VRBO, a little bit not as easy to use. I don't know. Doesn't appeal to me as much, but Airbnb just seems like the way to go. Go ahead.
No, I think it's the future of you see these like techie things that are going on, like the Vrbo, the Airbnbs. Like people are just switching, and I've seen in here where the people are kind of over the hotels a little bit. Why would you rent a few hotel rooms when you could get a house that's right near it, right in the strip, and you could be with your friends all in the same spot. You could do whatever you want. You're not going to have crazy security around. So I've seen a shift in it, and it's a very high demand here. That's why I got into it.
So you bought 5.
What 5? Yeah.
5 right off the bat. Love it.
Right off the bat. Let's go.
You must be cleaning rooms every other day.
All right. So I got into it for 2 reasons. There was somebody in my brokerage who very, very, very high smart guy, and he developed systems to manage these things. So I buy them, I hand them off to him, and he manages them. So it's a nice little partnership, and it's been great.
So he manages. He does the cleaning, or is he hiring cleaning services?
Yeah, he hires everything. So it's a cool business model where I buy a house, I give it to him, he does all the work, he books it, he cleans it, he runs whatever he's got to do. If something breaks, he's dealing with it, and then I'm on to the next, trying to buy another one. So I manage my own personal properties, my single family rentals, long-term rentals, but the short-term rentals I pass off to him and he runs them.
How long has he been doing that? How many properties do you think he has that
he has?
Just yours, or
here's some crazy stuff with this guy. He manages 254 properties, right? And then he's got 17 Airbnbs
himself.
So he's busy.
He's orchestrating a lot of cleanings, a lot of check-ins, a lot of checkouts.
When you have like businesses like this, like the smartest people, the people that can create systems, so that you don't have to do anything. And this guy doesn't work a lot. He likes to travel, but he has his team dialed in where they're doing everything for him, and he just comes in for a little bit. He'll tweak some things, and it's ran like a well-oiled machine. It's pretty cool.
So you're giving him a percentage, obviously, for his service.
He takes a percentage. It's well-deserved percentage, because he's doing all the work. You don't have to do anything. And it's like he's running your hotel for you, and it's nice. And now I'm at the point where not a lot of people are doing it, and the word's kind of gotten out about these things, and now people are bringing me the deals, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And so here's a little fact out. I don't know if you know this, but Airbnb is not legal in Las Vegas.
Not legal in Las Vegas.
So it's only legal in the city of Henderson right now and up north Las Vegas. So when the city of Las Vegas releases the license that you could Airbnb, there's going to be a massive wave, because people are still doing it, but they're doing it illegally. And there's so many that they can't kind of keep track of all of them. So they're starting to make them more legal, and kind of, because you have to pay tax. You got to pay the city their fee, and the hotels were getting a little mad that all these things were going up and taken away from the Strip. But we're kind of trying to get ahead of the curve here of what we're with these Airbnbs in Las Vegas, because they're not legal yet.
I mean, I got to think the hotels are pretty mad about that. If I'm not a big hotel guy anymore. I go somewhere and there's a good shot, unless in Vegas, maybe on the Strip, but I'd rather stay off the strips. 5-10 minutes away, get an Airbnb. You got a kitchen, you can cook, you can, for the same price, you got a whole house to yourself.
Yeah, you were doing them here for a while. You kind of showed me that you could do it. I didn't even know you could do it. But yeah, I mean, I like it because if I saw a niche for it where people were always asking me, like, do you have a house for a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And I'm like, no. And now I do. So now it's like, okay, I have this, and it's working. Where people are like, can I rent your house for a week, 2 weeks, whatever? And it's been nice.
So going back to your buddy managing these properties, does he works the pricing strategy and the length of stay and all these kind of things, or do you have a say in that?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different different things.
So you know what? When I first got into this, I didn't realize how in depth it is. It's crazy.
You can.
It's
I watch videos all day on pricing strategy. You could do is how to get your listing to the top. To be a super host, what you got to do, but you got to do instant booking. And then if they do instant booking, anyone can book right away as long as they fit the qualifications. You can only cancel on 3. There's like so many different things. It's crazy. So is that something that this guy's doing?
To the highest level that you could.
Wow.
Go. It's very mathematical, which I'm not into. But for example, I don't want to learn that stuff. That stuff doesn't appeal to me. I don't want to do his side of the business. I like doing my side of the business of finding these things and the potential of it. But to go with your point, it's so analytical where you have to have the bunk beds in this room, and you have to angle the pool table this way so there's more seating, and you have to do for the 4 nights instead of the 3 nights so you can get them the extra night, and then you can charge the extra cleaning fee, and a whole ball game of business that I don't really like that. I'm not a mathematical guy, analytical guy. I like the game of going and finding the properties better.
When you're looking at these properties, are you looking at Airbnb comps, or you're just looking at what you would want to stay in because you know the market and you know where you're
a little of both. My strategy. So I bought a few houses by our lacrosse field, which is in Deep Henderson, and I was like, there's always tournaments here. There's no hotels around. It's far from a hotel. And I'm like, these people need a place to stay. And there's tournaments here all the time. So that was how I started. And then I rely on Sean, who I work with, I'll find the property, I'll shoot it over to him, and he'll know within minutes, good, bad, and if the house is too close to a neighbor, no good. So there's a lot that goes into it.
The neighbor thing, yeah.
Neighbor's bad, bro. Bad, super bad.
So yeah, Long Island is I don't even know if it's legal. I think you might need to pay like a short-term rental, something. I don't know what the heck the deal is, but I think that's the only thing that can crush you is if a neighbor complains. Other than that, I think Airbnb is just so genius. It's so good.
Well, let's give a little breakdown, right, of a deal that I just recently did, so people can see how powerful the short-term rental stuff is. I bought a house. It was brought to me by a really big investor in town, someone I've always tried to do business with, but he's just like way above me. And he heard about this short-term rental, and he brought me in on the deal. So we bought it for $280,000, and our mortgage was around $1,400. And we put some money into it, and now we're collecting around $8,000 to $11,000 a month. And if it was a normal rental, we would probably collect around $2,500 a month.
Crazy.
So the numbers are nuts with this model. But if you're going to talk about the positive, you got to talk about the negative. Where last year during COVID, you weren't allowed to do the short-term rentals. They were completely knocked down. They were all shut down. So now all these people have their short-term rentals rolling. You got to go to regular long-term rentals, and then now you can kind of transfer back into the short-term rentals.
I don't. So I had an Airbnb, and there's one that I rent like separate rooms.
Yep.
And this guy, I could have sworn that I had him during COVID. He came. Did they shut it down completely?
They shut it down. They shut it down here. The legal ones, but people here are doing it illegally. Like the ones you stayed at, where you can do it, but technically you're doing it kind of under the table because Airbnb doesn't.
That's the other.
You pay on their site, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had a but and that's so a couple of I have one of them is like right near the hospital. I mean, it's pretty close.
Yep.
And the best people, they're traveling nurses. They come in for a couple months at a time, rent the Airbnb. They get a great discount for a long-term stay. I got the price nightly. You got to stay. Maybe I'll put I like people to stay out 2 or 3 nights. I don't want people coming in and out. And what I should do is raise the price tremendously for a one-night stay.
Yep.
Just because I heard that brings your as long as you can, if they can book it for one night, you go to the top and then everyone sees you right away. But the price is kind of ridiculous. If they really want to do it, they can. But yeah, when I give a good discount for a monthly stay, I get people they stay. So it's like they're paying probably not double of what a year rent. A monthly rent for under a year lease would be, but pretty close to it. For 3 months, 4 months, and it keeps it occupied. It's beautiful.
One thing that I've found in this business is if you have something that they want or like or need, they will pay for it. Just like when I go out or I'm going to dinner, some people look at the prices on the menu, some people don't. Like if you want it, you want it, and that's with my rentals and my short-term rentals, where I try to make it really attractive to these people, where I'm blowing out the other pictures that are in comparison. And I want people in my house. And then they're going to tell their friends, hey, this is the house to stay in.
Beautiful. I know you got to get out of here. You got practice coming up. You got time for a few calls? We'll throw the number up.
Let's do it. Let's do a few more.
We actually have somebody on the line already. He's been waiting the entire. This is RV Truth. It'd be interesting to know.
I
don't know what's coming here. We're just warning you. So be
all right, bring him on.
Let's go.
Let's go. RV.
Yeah, you guys want to know? You guys are gonna get the truth. That's what's coming. So thanks for having me on, Al and Aaron. I
You
appreciate
got it,
that.
man.
Booker in the chat. Appreciate that, brother. Setting this up. So
What do you got?
with COVID? I would say COVID first. We can get into flat Earth, 9/11.
We're talking about real estate.
This has got to be about real estate right now.
Did you listen to the guy dropping knowledge the whole time? You want to talk about
No,
COVID?
okay, we can answer it. It's all good.
Don't worry, I'm all about real estate too. Listen, I'm a homeowner. I have no mortgage. Right now, I tell everybody: do not buy a new car. Never buy a new car. Get into real estate. Real estate is the best way to go. And you can look long-term, short-term, whatever the case is. Get in, because there might be a little dip. But if you're going to be long-term, this is the time to get in right now. Especially if you're going to Arizona. Those are two spots that are going to really shoot up. And get in before it gets too hot. So yeah, this is the best investment. Myself, you build that equity, and you just, of course, buy low, sell high. It's that simple. Don't make it complicated. But first off, you got to have that nest egg. You got to save your money. That's what a lot of people get into houses and they're check to check. Something goes wrong, boom, you're foreclosed. So you got to have that nest egg. Also, you got to, like the old saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that goes for every aspect of life.
This guy's got to be related to True Smoker.
No, they're buddies.
They talk exactly.
We'll get into True Smoker later, but I kind of jumped the gun with the truth angle. But yeah, real estate is, like I said, the first aspect, you got to save your money. Whatever money you make, you got to save. Just keep the bare minimum to get by, pay your bills. Do what you got to do. If you have leftover money, don't throw in the garbage. Don't rent. Renting, you're just throwing your money away. Save that money and get inside, get the real estate. You're not. It might be tough, but here's the thing: is even if you end up being somewhat in debt, you're going to build equity. At a later date, you're gonna cash out. You're going to do very well. So
beautiful. You were RV Truth. I love you, bro, but you weren't listening to the last hour and 15 minutes that Jason Griggs was dropping knowledge. I tell you what, I want to hear what you have to say, but Jason's got limited time. I want to get some callers that have some questions for him. You know what I mean? Call back in a couple minutes. This guy's got lacrosse practice. He's got houses to sell and buy, and you know what I mean. We can't be. He's. I'm sure he's got time for conspiracy theories somewhere, but not right now.
All right. I'll hold tight. Don't worry, Aaron. You can put me on hold. I'll just hold tight.
Well, I'm gonna have to hang it up, but
He's gonna have to. Yeah.
This guy.
All right. I got.
We'll call back. RV Truth. Love it.
Okay,
All right. I'm gonna throw. I can't get out of here. I'm gonna throw the number up now. It looks like Hanato Laranja is in the chat. 13-time world champion.
Oh man.
All right, so you can call the Call Me Out Show, 516-341-1585. Or if you're unhappy, you can ask to be invited. You can come on the video chat with us right now. So whichever is first. And we have a caller.
We got a couple minutes
RV
with the real estate. Is this same freaking? Is he calling back again?
Yeah. I told him I had to hang up. Yeah. RV, we will call you back. I can't. I can't.
He called.
Calls.
He called back again.
Yeah.
Die hard Al fan,
dude.
This guy's.
He is. All right.
He's clogging up the lines here.
You understand that this is very intricate system here. All right.
I want to say this is impressive, man. I think this is so cool.
This little show we got going on here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. No, so Aaron, he is the genius behind many parody Twitter accounts, including the Raging Al forgery one.
Oh, you run that? That thing's the best.
It's the best, isn't it?
It's the best. And the Instagram?
No.
I don't have an Instagram.
No.
You know what, Al? You know who I love? I love Aljo's bodyguard. That guy's hysterical.
Who's Aljo's bodyguard?
Yeah,
This is Twitter?
He's somebody on Instagram. And if someone talks shit about Aljo, he hops in and defends him.
Oh, it's incredible.
I freaking love the internet.
Incredible. Yeah, it's so and Aaron does he's got a few Airbnbs himself. He's in the game.
Just getting into it. Yeah.
Happy to help you, man. Whenever.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Kansas City, it's a good area. I like it. So it's I'm into Lake of the Ozarks. I'm trying to do that, and then I'm gonna venture into like the Branson area, like Table Rock Lake, around that area. So
Awesome.
yeah. So this is a new one. We're not getting any calls. I believe this is the first.
So I see a comment here. I think this is a good question. He says, "Does he believe in using your own money or the bank's money?" And the answer to that is both. Some deals I'll use my own money, or some deals I will use private money, where I'll take other people's money and they'll lend it to me for a short period of time, and then I'll do the deal and I'll give it back to them.
And what would be the deciding factor between going private or bank?
So for the last one we just described, we use private money. So we have a big investor that lends us the money for 4 months, and then we'll refinance it, because sometimes you have to do it so fast, and the banks are too slow.
Banks take a long time.
Yep.
Well, and you got a bunch of holdings and this and that, so they probably takes even longer. You know, it's not like you have a steady paycheck every week where you can prove your income. And
right, that's the point. Yeah, my lenders don't like me because it's just so much more extra work for them.
Well, that's how you know you've made it. Listen, it's a deal for me to get a loan, but I understand completely, buddy. I understand. Tony Bananas wanted to be invited in. I invited him in.
Let's go.
Here. Real estate questions. Let's go through here. Well, that's about a hotel. Interesting. Okay, so I guess what's your end game, Jason? I mean, what are you just wanting to do this forever? I mean, I get what you're saying. You're wanting to do everything but do nothing at the same time, like, you know, where you're just kind of overseeing everything, and that's the goal with anything, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, you could buy. That's the cool part about real estate. You could buy hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of it. Like, you can't stop, and I'm pretty addicted to it. It's like a drug to me. But I do see my end goal of buying apartment complexes next.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So
I think get a couple of those going.
Would you rent those traditionally?
It's the same model as a house. It's the same exact thing. It's not overcomplicated. You're buying something, you have a mortgage on it, and you rent it out.
Well, I guess my other question is, though, would you do all traditional renting, or would you do some Airbnbs, sprinkled in there too, and just own the units?
Well, I think it's good to diversify, and that's kind of why I'm going into a new state, because Vegas is kind of a little oversaturated. The prices are getting a little out of control.
Yeah.
And just doing different things, and probably I'll get into some different markets also.
Very good. We have
Jay
Tony
Griggs. Don't count Long Island out. The prices are high, but like you said before, they're not making more. They're not expanding. They can't expand.
Yeah.
I think Long Island is going to keep. I think in Manhattan, it's a little weird right now. I think Long Island's going to keep. I think it's going to keep going.
Well, Long Island's always going to be Long Island, right? I own houses there too. Like at my family's houses, I'll get those one day. But for just an investment, cash flowing purpose, it's very tough because the taxes are so high.
Yeah, the taxes, it makes it so tough. You gotta get super creative.
Before we
we got a guy here.
I got a question real quick though, and then we'll bring Tony on. But Al, everyone's looking for places in Vegas here. Chris Weidman moved to South Carolina. Aljo's in Vegas. Merab's looking in Vegas. Are you, Al Iaquinta, looking for maybe another property in Vegas as well?
Jay and I looked. I was close. I was close. I don't know. I don't know. I just and I was really close even before the whole. I kicked myself. I was looking at a condo in the Palms Place,
Yeah.
whatever. I think it was like $100,000 at the time.
Oh
It
wow.
was it was a studio, 1 bedroom, whatever. That
Well, the
thing's got to
Palms
be.
closed, so you made the right decision.
Oh shit! No, well, that's still got to be a thing, though. No.
Well, the Palms place is open, but the Palms is closed. The hotel is closed, so it's
Oh, the
it's bad over
hotel
there.
closed. Oh, so yeah. But the Palms place. Yeah, I gotta still think that those appreciated and are still doing good. Those
Yeah.
are no.
Yeah, they did
Even-
okay, but don't kick yourself over it.
Okay. All right. Because I was thinking back then it was like 100,000. I gotta think it's at least double though. No, right now.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the Palms
They
place.
probably doubled from that, but it's not going well. We'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that.
They had the whole thing. It was like you could Airbnb it, but then you had to find your own cleaning service, or
Yep.
you could use their management service, but the management service took 50% off the top. So it was
Shit.
kind of like I was like, oh, I don't know what to do here. I don't know, and it
Yeah,
kind
they
of
got their
smelled.
whole-
When I looked
They
at
got
it,
their
it
whole
smelled good.
program that they got there. It's just not ran well.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Then you know what? I don't kick myself anymore. There you go. Tony Bananas, what do we got, man?
What's up, Tony
The
B?
lawyer, he's a very smart guy.
Yes, sir. What's going on, boys?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Jason, thanks for coming on. You guys are giving $1 million advice for the great price of free. And I'm looking at the trolls in the comment section. They still haven't figured it out. It's actually insane.
I haven't been looking at trolls. I don't know. I can't believe there would be any trolls right now. This is like a college education in a minute right here.
Yeah.
100%. I'm looking at the YouTube comments. It's like a zoo, bro. It's madness what goes on in these things. Anyways,
All right. So what's your question?
Anyway, officially back in the real estate world. I'm actually in the great state of New Jersey currently. Doing closings, doing wills. It's a whole mess. What was I already forgot my question? Oh, here's my question. You keep saying you got to get to practice. What practice you running here?
I coach a middle school lacrosse team. Big lacrosse guy.
Well, speaking of coaching, as Al and our boy here knows, I am a football coach, and sadly, I will be going to war with Long Island tomorrow.
Whoa.
Going to make the terrible trek to St. Anthony's. I'm sure you know you're a Wax guy. Yeah, we're about to. Yeah, we're definitely the 21-point underdog. We'll see. My high school was the last team to beat St. Anthony's from Staten Island. I don't know, man. It's I know they were insane lax program, insane football program. I've actually closed the bar with their Hall of Fame coach. But yeah, wish me luck, fellas.
Well, good luck.
Thanks, guys. As for real estate questions, I always ask the same question every realtor, every real estate guy I know. Say you're the average Joe, I don't know. Say you're making $60,000 a year, whatever, you got everything taken care of. What's your advice for getting your foot in the door for rental properties?
I would partner with someone that makes more money than you. That's what I did. No, I swear, you laugh, but that's what I did. My first deal, I didn't have a lot of money. I swear I didn't. I did not have. I took a good I would say 30% of all my money, and I put it into that rental property with my cousin, and he had way more money than me, and we made it work. But that's the best way to do it.
Wow. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I always ask, man, because all these guys, I know plenty. No offense, that you guys are not a dime a dozen, but being in this business, I run into so many guys where it's like, I was a mechanic, I was I don't know, I got out of jail, and it's just, what's that first step? What's that first? Like you said, your heart's beating out of your chest. What's your first step?
It's a great question because a lot of people are scared to do it, and then they just scare themselves out of. Like, you have an interest in it. So if I have an interest in something, I'm going to do it. Like, I have to try it before I dismiss it. And so when I tried it, and then I was like, okay, they pay their rent on time every month. There's not really any maintenance with this one. And then I kept seeing the appreciation go up every month or every 6 months. I'm like, wow, isn't that bad. And so what I would do, let's say I didn't make any money. I would go and try to find a deal. And then Facebook is like the best right now. You could just join a Facebook real estate group and say, hey, look, I have this deal. Would anybody be interested in partnering? People will just throw money out. There's a lot of money out there. And if you do a little work to find a decent deal or learn how to try to, find the beat up house, people will give you money.
I would say the first thing is get a real estate license. It's like a brief it's like an overview of when you get your real estate license, you don't really learn anything that you're going to use as a real estate agent, but you do learn like a little bit of law, a little bit of construction, a little bit of real estate sales. You learn like a little bit, like a general thing, and then you got your license. So then you can start finding properties for other people. And as an agent, it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot better to get your feet wet finding houses for other people with the help of your broker, and kind of test out the market. You're seeing the market. You're getting used to the market, and then you might find an investor, and you find them a house to invest in. And then you can sit back and you kind of see, how's that investment do? How did I do? And you know what? If it doesn't do well, you made your commission. You're kind of out of it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, too bad. I thought it was, but you find an investor, a good house that makes 10, 15%. I mean, that's a lot, but if you could pull that off, then then you're rolling. You know what I mean? Then you're rolling, and you have the confidence in yourself that you can find a good house, a good cash flowing property. And by that time, you probably have built up enough sales. You made some good commissions. You got some money. Throw it in a house. You buy a good house, and then you just get the ball rolling from there. The house hacking that we were talking about earlier, if you can just get into something. A duplex, a 2-family house, you rent out one side, you live in the other, you're probably going to break even. Then you can start saving that money for the second house, and you keep doing it. If you buy a residential property, a 1-family house with 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, maybe you get a house with 1 bedroom upstairs, and that'll be you're upstairs, and then you could rent out by the room downstairs. So you're kind of like in your own little world up there, but you got other people paying your mortgage. You might even, if you do it right, you're making money. You're living up there, and everyone is paying that mortgage down. You might even be making money in your own house, and then you can boom, boom, boom. You just gets the ball rolling. But I think that you got to have the knowledge. You got to immerse yourself in the real estate game, know the market that you want to be in, and you gotta just devour it. You gotta know everything. That house goes on the market, and you're like, I gotta go see it. I gotta go check this thing out. This might be the next big thing. So I think for me, that would if you want to get into it, that's another way.
Yeah, I think you just touched on it. It's a lot of work, right, Al? Like, it's not easy, but once you get in the groove of it and you put some time in, just like anything else, you'll come out on top and you'll learn a lot of stuff. But also, like, you don't need your license to do this. So I think you should. I think every real estate investor should have their license, because you have pretty much a license of steel where you could go buy the house yourself. You don't need somebody else. And then you could go sell it whenever you want. But there's 17, 18-year-old kids now that are killing it, doing this on the internet, virtually. They're doing it. They're finding the money. They're buying the houses. They're selling them. It's crazy.
Rent moratorium. We rip the door down and we knock their skulls in. Come on, are you kidding me? Rent moratorium. We don't play by the rules over here.
We're gonna send Uncle Al and cousin Tony with some baseball bats. We forget about it, and it works itself out.
Red Band,
Wow.
Oh man. Anyway,
All
I
right,
appreciate
all right.
you guys. I would have said I took notes, but I know Aaron's the fastest uploader in history. This will all be up on YouTube and everywhere with the timestamps before I even get to my morning cardio in the morning. Thanks, fellas. I really appreciate it. Keep on going, man. Love it.
Thanks, man. Tony, good luck, dude. Good luck in your game.
You're
Thanks,
the man.
Hopefully
get him.
my quarterback comes out alive, man. He's got
St. Anthony's, you're dead.
St. Anthony's, big private
the
school
boys in
money over
black.
there.
Awesome, brother.
All right, Tony B, thank you. Somebody had another question that they wanted to ask Jason. I invited him in, but if you can't get into Haps, just ask the question in the comments if you'd like. This is Brian Vdub.
Yeah.
I love these names here. So Brian Vdub, if you can't get into Haps, just ask your question in the comments, or you can call 516-341-1585. This fake Al that was here last week, who said he wanted to come on. He said he was going to download Haps and come on, but he didn't. But he can call the number as well. But
Jason's got no time for that. We want real estate questions or bust. Jason, you got to get out of here, brother.
I got time for one more.
All right, Brian
one more.
Right now. Brian Vdub. Hey,
You are on the Call Me Out show. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, a quick question. Like in our market where we're at right now, it's exploded a lot, like Vegas and a lot of different areas. And I'm a realtor in the area, but I've been back and forth with trying to decide if I should sell my personal property to basically use for more investment properties, just because it's at a peak. Well, I don't know if it's at a peak. Of course, that's like the question as far as if it'll, because we've been getting a lot of Californians and different places like people coming in as well. So I didn't know if that's something you've dealt with as far as maybe selling. In fact, this is fun. I got Zillow calling me right now.
Oh shit! Answer it. Answer it.
And,
you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that lead.
This is the Premier Agent team. Press 1 if you're free to talk to a buyer.
Press 1. We're doing this. All right, we'll be quiet. Get him.
The buyer's name was not.
Let's hear your pitch.
The address is 169 Forest Ridge Road, Hohenwald, 38462. We just sent you the details.
Huh. I might actually have to take this.
Call him up. Call him up on the air. Let's do this. Come on.
Let's see.
Please hold while I dial this buyer.
By the way, Al, this is me.
I love this. You're going to have to leave a message, huh?
Yeah.
Do you leave a message?
Iaquinta, leave a message.
I'm connecting to the local agent now.
Yeah. It says it'll reconnect me. It's 8:30 here, so I hate when I get those late calls like that.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna get a live
Zillow.
connect.
I never did the Zillow. I guess that's cool for me to see how it worked. All right, so I'll answer your question, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with selling your house and buying other things. I personally keep my house separate from my investing, because once you start messing around with your own family and your personal stuff, that's when things can kind of winder out of control. I've seen some people lose their personal house and they don't recoup from that. So I would suggest that the problem is if you sold your house high, right, and you're selling for a high price, then you would have to go buy high somewhere else unless you were getting a good deal on it. People can get good deals on the second round of investing. But I am not a fan of refining your house and taking the equity and buying other things. I am a fan of doing it with investments, just not your personal property.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so what we would do if we sold this, of course, then we would downsize a little bit to, try to have something that was less mortgage per se, but have some leftover to buy, at least go towards, a couple other properties, whatever. But
What I would do if I were you, I would try to look look up some like wholesalers where they have good deals, off-market deals with 20% off, 30% off, and go after those deals. And if you're gonna take your money and invest, I would do that and keep doing it.
Right. Okay.
How
All
would
right.
you
Well, yeah,
find? How would you
appreciate it,
go about finding wholesalers?
Wholesalers are the greatest thing in the world. They are your avenue to getting deals, and you can find them on Facebook. They're everywhere. It's like the hot thing the past few years, where these kids will find deals or people in foreclosure, and they do all the work for you, and they just want to sell that contract to make some money. So Facebook groups, there's a million of them. Just type in your market.
I'm in a couple groups like that, but I always feel like it's so hard to decipher like what's legit and what's not, because I'll see people put up there who's interested in this, and you see a bunch of people put in or whatever they're asking for, and then you get I've done it once or twice, and then all of a sudden they're asking you for some money for something. You have to pay for the service or pay for the lead.
Yeah, you have to. Like when I first got started, I bought 3 or 4 houses from a 19-year-old kid in Arizona, and he was super professional about it. He had these deals of here in Vegas, and I bought them from him. Never met him before in person, but it's legit. But yes, it's a good point, Brian. You have to make sure that the person's legit and he works for a legit company, because there are scams out there. But it's just like anything else. You do your research, but it's a good avenue to get some good deals.
No, that is something good to check out.
Al, I got to run, brother.
Man.
I love you, man. Thank you for having me, dude. Good luck in
you,
your
dude.
fight.
Thank you for coming. I love that you came on and dropped all this knowledge. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be a good
Let's
one.
do it, man. And then I'm working on something for Merab. So
nice.
So mansion for the machine. That's what I'm calling.
A mansion for the machine. Love
Let's
it.
go. Yep.
All right, brother.
All right, boys. You have a great night. Thanks again for having me.
Always, man. Always. Thank you for coming on.
I'll see you soon, dude.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Peace.
Awesome.
And
Hey, Al.
Yo.
Have you? I didn't want to ask in front of him just in case make it uncomfortable. But have you looked at doing referrals for any of these guys going out there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we kind of we have a good thing going, all of us. So yeah, no, it's good. But no, I do referrals anywhere. I've done deals in Jersey, the Carolinas, in the Midwest, California. Yeah, I do. If you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in the United States, contact me and I can help you out. And if you're looking in Vegas, we're sending you to Jason Griggs. This guy is unbelievable. When I went out there, I was looking at houses. He brought me around. We looked at some cool stuff. I almost pulled the trigger, but I just feel like Long Island is, I don't know. I'm such a Long Island guy, and I feel like I know the market out here so well. And I passed up on one of the houses. I passed up on the house, and Jason bought one of them. He bought it, and he's doing well with it. So I kind of, but I ended up buying it. I bought a house here that's, it's kind of like a work in progress. It's a 2-family house. The basement, I'm working on renovating the basement, and I'm going to get that rented out. Gene J. I saw Gene J had.
Let me find. I got the question if you want it. Just got a large sum of inheritance. How should I try and hedge against inflation? I feel like it's just losing value every day sitting in my account.
And I would say it definitely is. It's and it's where you're getting 1%. You're getting 1% on your money there, and the rate of inflation at this point is I don't know, what do they say? It's 3% every year, but with them printing all this money, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
I'd say you gotta find your niche, I think, or you could diversify it. Find somebody that knows more than you do. Bitcoin, great if you know what's going on. Me, not really. Kind of throwing money in a little bit here and there when it's down, and stocks. Throw it in some stocks. Stocks, great return. Dividends. Again, I don't know too much about it. Real
The thing
estate.
I will say about stocks, Bitcoin, all that stuff, don't invest anything you're gonna need tomorrow. You know, this is long-term stuff. You got to be, if this is money you think you're going to turn around quickly and count on, taking it out for something else, it's never a good strategy. You want to be able to invest it, let it simmer, and see what it does.
Yeah, I mean, if it's inheritance that you're not using anytime soon, if you want to get into the real estate game,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta you're Jason. You can throw your money in some houses. He's got some houses in Vegas. I got houses on Long Island. We can talk about it. But yeah, real estate is always. But if you wanted to do it yourself, if you got time on your hands and you're in a market that is a good rental market, or even if you're not and you want to do, there's people that are they're doing it all remote. They'll invest in Austin, Texas, for example, when they're living in New York City, and it's a great way to do it, but it's its own niche. You got to know how to. I mean, there are books written on investing remotely. There's books on investing in general. You just got to figure out what you want to do and go for it. What do you think, Vdub?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I think I think we should buy a house together, me and her, on Long Island, 2-family.
There you go. Sounds like a winner.
15%. We'll get 15% on the money. Can't beat it. Appreciation. 30 years from now, pay that sucker off. Sitting pretty.
Have you seen a lot of these, your properties? I'm assuming they've all went up in the last couple of years too, like everything else.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. Right now, the market is so high, but a year ago, everyone was saying the same thing. Was that when's the bubble gonna burst? Does the bubble have to burst? It's nowhere near a situation like it was in 2008. It's totally different.
Right.
So I don't know, and with them printing all this money, the price of a house is gonna go up. The dollar is just not worth what it was before. So the price of the houses are going up.
Well,
And it means, go ahead.
No, I'm saying the thing, like in your situation, it's even more interesting because all you hear about is people leaving New York, leaving California, leaving these areas, and to hear that it's still going just as strong there. I mean, it's interesting to hear.
Well, New York City took a big hit. I'm on Long Island. I'm 45 minutes from Manhattan by train. It's suburbs. It's it's a totally different thing than New York City, Manhattan.
Right,
Manhattan took a huge hit. People were leaving there in flocks, moving to Long Island, for example. A lot of people from New York City, people that had a good amount of money, they left New York City and they moved out to Long Island. The taxes out here are pretty high. That's the only thing that makes things difficult as far as investing. But other people moved to the Carolinas, to Florida, Vegas, Texas. But
Tennessee.
Long Island, Tennessee, yeah. We got a caller. Let's bring him on.
All right, caller, are you there? Hello. Well, now they're not answering. Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
It's Alex Azevedo. I was on the show a couple weeks ago. Challenged Big Al with he did match a week ago.
Challenged me to a what?
You guys?
Yeah.
Grappling match. Remember? 2-minute rounds.
Oh. Yeah, what's with the 2-minute rounds? What the hell is this crap?
No. I'm just reminding you. You said we're just gonna go until someone submits, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, that sounds better.
After
my fight though.
After you fight, after you win your fight. That's what I said.
Ah, man, there we go. Oh, now it's coming back to me. No, you just wanted to trade with me. When it came down to it, you challenged me to a match. All right, we'll do a match. You really want to do a match? We'll do a match, and then we'll train after.
Yeah, for sure. So the Bobby Green thing, that's not going through. What's going on?
Oh no, Bobby Green and I are fighting. We're fighting November 6th at Madison Square Garden. UFC 268?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
Yeah,
No, I
man.
just heard the rumors that he's pulling out. All right.
That who is?
I already didn't want to feel the power. All right. Cool.
That who's pulling?
No, I saw some stupid shit on YouTube saying that he was pulling out or some shit. I don't know.
Nah, come on.
You know how it goes.
Dude, don't do that to me on my own show.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I'm not saying you're pulling out. I'm saying he was pulling out. But
yeah, I hope if anyone pulls out, it's gonna be me.
I know that, brother. I know that.
Man,
right.
he better not freaking pull out on me.
This is kind of a tough question actually, because it's like between teammates and shit. So, damn, I didn't even want to ask this question. I wasn't prepared for you guys to bring me on right away, and I was gonna go in through the Haps app. But anyway, what do you think about Merab against Jan?
Ooh.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like Merab would. I think, dude, I have a feeling that he'd just take him down and just smash him out. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I know you're not in that weight class and everything, and I'm sure you're trying.
I train with these guys. I train with these guys every day. I think Merab gives anyone fits. You know, he gives anyone fits. He's just, the guy is an absolute machine. You know, I think I think that Jan definitely poses some big problems for Merab, but you saw that last fight. I mean, Merab can walk through big punches, and if you don't get him out of there, and it's hard to get him out. You saw it. You know, you got to kill that guy, and that's not an easy task.
Right, he took it from Cejudo, and Cejudo's taking out Dillashaw and fucking Dominic Cruz, two previous champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's taking him out in like the first round. It's like, well, I'm pretty sure first round, and like a few punches. It's like, this guy. I don't know. I feel like Merab's. No, I'm a big fan of Aljo also, but if Aljo's still out, I'd love to see Merab get in there with Jan and just fucking take his ass down and fucking beat him into a fucking pulp. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Merab's the last fight was a big one. I think he's gonna have to win, one or two more. But it's kind of like right now, Aljo's the guy, and he's gonna get that rematch if Jan wins. If Sandhagen wins, I mean, I'm thinking they're gonna do that, but we'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see that fight coming up here in 2 weeks. Jan versus Sandhagen. It's a good one.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that plays out. It'll be interesting to see. There's a bunch of big fights in the bantamweight division for Merab. Is Jose Aldo's fighting Rob Font, and Dominic and Dominic Cruz is fighting
Munoz, right? Pedro Munoz.
Pedro Munoz. So I would say one of those four guys will probably be facing Merab. I don't know who else there is, but
Yeah, I can't even think of it. I mean, I heard it on what was it? John McCarthy's show with the other guy there that I can't even remember.
Josh
he was
Thompson.
actually a UFC. Yeah, that's it. He was talking about that fight. He's like, "Oh, I think Merab." Yeah, and I'm not gonna bring it up on your show because you guys are teammates and everything else. So never mind. But yeah, I just
what are you
wanted
gonna
to
bring it? Let's go, bring it up. I got freaking nothing to hide, man.
No, I know, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say.
You can say whatever you can say whatever you want. I'll answer it or not.
No, there's nothing else to talk about as far as that goes. But so, what do you think about Bobby Green? Like, what's your? Do you have like a prediction? What round or anything like that, or you don't want to talk too much about it?
Foreclosed.
No, I think he's gonna get foreclosed on, right, Aaron?
Boom. He's gonna take him down. He's gonna make him say escrow.
I love it. Bobby Green is durable. He definitely brings a gas tank because he was coming on strong in that third round. Maybe a little bit more of a slow starter. Throws like one punch here and there. Yeah, I'm probably saying too much. I don't think he's going to listen to this. But well, yeah, I got some tricks up my sleeve. And I think that it's gonna be a great night. I'd like to go in there, make it look smooth, make it look put on a dominant performance. He's one thing. He is definitely durable, and people, he's been in there with everybody, and Dustin is the only guy to really put him away like that. So that's kind of the goal. But I'm ready.
Dustin Poirier? I don't know anything about Bobby Green. I know all about your career, but not Dustin. Bobby
So
Green.
Dustin knocked him out in like the first round. A while back. It was a while. But Bobby Green's fought everybody. He's not cracked like the top 15 or top 10, but he's always hovered right there. Against the guys like his last two fights he fought. I don't know. I can. Who the hell did he fight?
I don't even know, but I just know you're gonna knock this clown out. But anyway,
my man.
I'm just all I'm thinking in my head right now is about that dude from the UK that you just did that 1-2, and he just dropped to the floor. That's all I'm thinking about. It's gonna happen. So I don't know.
My man.
I
like it.
Straight and the right hook.
Uncle Hanato says third round rear naked choke.
All right, I'll take it.
Well, yeah, I feel like you can take him on the feet, but you know your shit. So I know you're gonna drop his ass no matter what, even if it comes down to a rear naked choke. But anyway, all right, one more question. As far as Khabib, right? Did you like the type of pressure like Russ? Hey, you know that I'm a grappling guy, right? So like, did the type of pressure that he put on you, and I've seen it through all of his fights, like, is it really that much different compared to anybody else who grappled?
I mean, like, yes and no. I mean, he's yes. I say yes. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, he knows how to distribute his weight. Like he knows what he's doing. He's got his game plan, and he knows how to funnel the fight to where his game plan is, if that makes sense. Like he knows he wants to get a guy against the cage. He threatens. He gets a takedown early. In your stand up is you can't really let your stand up because you got to be wary of the takedown. Then he starts striking. Then he gets the takedown. He backs you up. You're against the cage before you know it. Gets you down. Now you're in his world. He's great with the control on the ground against the cage, and his control is great. And yeah, he is great at controlling. Distributing his weight. He feels heavy on top of you. I always go to Matt Serra. Matt Serra's, now he's probably like 200 pounds, but that guy gets on top of you. He feels like a truck's on top of you, and that's kind of similar with Khabib. He was probably like 180 pounds, 175 pounds in the cage, but he definitely felt like a heavier lightweight than
probably 200 pounds
the other guys.
At least.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's cool. I mean, I'm just watching every month. I mean, nobody has a solution to it. It's like, who's going to do anything to this guy? I thought Poirier had him at one point in that guillotine, and then he rolled over for a second to his side, and then he slipped out. But there's a chance there. But I don't know, what are they going to take to get this guy? But I love that fight. You win 5 rounds with him. I don't know how many other guys. I'm the stats in front of me, but there's you're one of the few I believe that have gone 5 rounds with him. So I've been a fan since day one. Since he beat up Joe Lozon, who's my I'm from Boston, so.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah. I think that's all I got for questions, buddy. Unless we can talk about coming down and training, you're probably gonna beat my ass anyway. But we can do that in a different platform.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Once this fight is done with, I welcome you to come down, and we'll 100% get a match in, get a training in, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. A friend of the Call Me Al show is a friend of mine, so it'll be fun.
All right, man. And by the way, I used to have my real estate license. I let it expire last year, so we can talk real estate too. How about that?
You need to have your license.
Yeah, we gotta get that you gotta get that license back, my man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I have to pay a fee for every year I've been gone or whatever, but yeah, I have that MLS ID. All right.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Aaron.
Awesome, brother.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Right. Peace. Okay.
Do you think aliens have feelings?
Oh, man.
Do you think aliens have feelings? Do you think aliens... Do you think that Jason Griggs just texted me that it was great? Thanks for having him on. What a great guy. Guy's incredible. Do you think that aliens have feelings? I read an article here. Neil deGrasse Tyson tells Demi Lovato that aliens have no feelings. This Demi Lovato, she's whacked, huh?
She is whack.
This girl?
Yeah, she said that it's offensive, right?
She said it's offensive to call aliens aliens.
Oh, man.
They are you fucking kidding me? It's crazy.
Yeah,
it says it's aliens is a derogatory. Aliens And so Neil deGrasse Tyson, I love that guy. That guy's he's so cool. The coolest scientist, astrophysicist, is Neil deGrasse Tyson. And Demi Lovato, what's that?
He's like a million levels of genius. I mean, the guy's incredible.
He's great on Joe Rogan. You can tell they have like a little kind of like intelligence battle going on.
Yeah.
Like when they go back and forth, it's great. But yeah, she goes, Lovato made the see. You know what? or maybe she's not. Maybe this is just all a ploy to get her new documentary unidentified into the news because now we're just talking about it. Maybe we're all the fools, but she says that we shouldn't call extraterrestrials aliens because it's a derogatory term for anything. Lovato added, I do not have a song called Aliens, but it sounds cool. Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Hey,
What does it say here?
I do have a few shout outs from last week, real quick, from those that have donated. We're trying to keep this as ad free as possible. So you can donate on our Haps page. You can donate on the YouTube super chat. So Go Flamingo. He donated last week and wants to know who would you most like to beat up at 155 pounds? I feel like this has been asked before.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, let's start with you, Aaron. Who would you like to beat up the
155
most at
pounds.
155 pounds?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I've always had a thing against Daryl Horcher. I don't know what it is about. No, I have no idea. I'm not beating nobody.
Daryl Horcher.
Fucking
I
Andy
fucking
Wang,
love it.
that son of a bitch. He's not a warrior.
Holy shit,
Bring on
Andy Wang. I haven't heard that name in a while. Yeah, I'd like to beat up Bobby Green.
Yes, good answer. Then America's favorite Brazilian wants to know, or just says, Al, you'll knock out Bobby Green, and they'll be in there. Okay, so maybe they're going as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then, also, donated a few times here, like 3 times. Why aren't you friends with my aunt on Facebook? She won't say. And Al tried hooking up with my mom and Zachary. Okay, interesting.
I tried hooking up with his mom at Zachary's. Oh my god. Zachary's was like Zachary's. I must have been like 20. I must have been like 21 years old. I don't even know if Zachary's is still old. It's still open. But Zachary's is where you used to go. I'm sure his mom. Yeah. That was like the older crowd. They were probably like at the time, I don't know, they were probably my age. I'm like 35, 34 right now. So I was like 20, 21. You go there, there's a 21-year-old, you're like,
that's the goal. I
oh,
think they call that mill hunting.
Exactly.
And then on Haps, we got Enos Castro, More Sauce, Sonny, Peter Bittner, Mike Copenhaver, John Flaherty, and Alex Azevedo, who I believe just called us. So thank you guys.
Oh, incredible, man! That was a good little episode right there. Jason Griggs dropping the knowledge. Vdubs, what do you think? He gave you some nuggets, huh?
Yeah, no. When I seen that you were gonna have him on there, I made sure I was gonna be home, so I wanted to check it out. So no, it's pretty good. Because I'm always trying to figure out ways to, of course, get different cash flow and income coming in, and trying to think the long game. So It's always nice to hear when it's worked out for people. Hey, real quick, I wanted to mention this to you because I think it was on the last episode you're talking about with fighting in New York and the vaccine and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that, like Rogan was saying the other day, because he performed there without it, that if you don't live in the city or aren't going to be there like regularly, that you're exempt. So you'll want to check that out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I got my management.
Yeah, they'll
we're figuring that out, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, even though, however, whatever it is now, in 3 weeks, everything could change. So
no,
I mean, I live on Long Island. Does that count as living in Manhattan? Would I be, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because you see, like the play, like with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
For the Nets, because even though he doesn't live in the city, but he's going to be there working, basically half his games, he falls under it. But anyways, I guess you got smarter people working for you than me. So
our resident Call Me Al Show lawyer, Tony Bananas, says it does not count and you are safe.
Oh, thank God.
We got our own lawyer, Al. That's awesome.
Dude, we got our freaking lawyer, man. We're freaking big time. You know what I mean?
Right now he's yelling at his computer. He's going retainer.
We got you,
So
bro.
have you been doing much real estate when you've been training, or do you kind of take a back seat? I'm assuming.
Yeah, as far as like sales and stuff, big backseat. I always have these rental properties that something comes up here and there. But I'm lucky that I have family in the area. Dude, my dad, he coaches football and he's a teacher. I think my mom could build a house with her own hands. If she could do anything. It's crazy. I don't think there's anything she can't do. So if I'm in a tight spot, she has my back, and it's like so relieving to have that. I'm so lucky that my mother knows like anything. She could fix anything. It's crazy. She does. Yeah. So I'm fortunate to be able, when I have a fight coming up, she kind of like helps me out. She
So you're
understands that I
talking
got a
about
lot
more
of.
like on your properties and stuff, though. You mean?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I have. As far as like sales and stuff, if it was like a good friend of mine, I take them out and we'd look for houses on my downtime. It's something that keeps my mind busy.
Right.
But someone that I don't know, I'd probably refer out. You know,
Makes
refer
sense.
to different agents. How many cars do you got, Al? Are you a car or truck guy? I'm a car. I guess I wouldn't even really call myself a car guy. I have a Nissan Altima. I buy houses. That's
Your
it.
house guy.
I'm freaking broke. I got houses. That's it. Maybe one day I'll have a boat. Cars. I would like if I had whose cat is that? Vdub, is that your cat?
Yeah, she's hungry.
Get her on this screen.
Oh, let me see if I'll get her.
And call back that
You know what? We've been texting.
Oh shit.
I requested the showing for tomorrow, but we'll see. I haven't got it back yet.
Wow, look at this. On air, Vdubs is working a Zillow lead.
Yeah, let's see. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,300 square feet.
What's the price on that sucker?
100 acres.
Whoa.
628. It's out in the country.
Nice.
But,
628. You guys have 3% commissions or 2?
Well, it's typical. I mean, the average is 3, but of course on the MLS it
Nice.
varies from 2 to 3, 2.5 sometimes. It's up to the listing agent or whatnot, whatever they put on there, of course. I actually just am doing my first one. I'm doing it for a 3.5.
Oh.
And I feel a little bit bad because we're only giving 2.5 on the other side. But
dude. You're doing all the work.
But I had put this guy. It was a house he bought 2 years ago with me, and from out of state, and I've helped him with a lot of stuff. So this is kind of his way of paying me back a little bit. So
yeah, man, awesome.
But so we'll see.
You gotta call back in next week, and you gotta let us know how this showing went.
Yeah, I'll let you know if it's a waste of time tomorrow or not. Once it gets confirmed, about an hour. It's about an hour drive, but I do business out there. So.
So I mean, 3% of 600. What is that? It's
just over 18.
Yeah, dude, we're getting that car, throwing a podcast, throwing some freaking throwing a couple songs, and you're there. That's good. That's a good. How do you find? How long you been with Zillow? You're a premier agent.
Yeah, I've been probably doing 3 years with them.
Nice.
It's you hear a lot of negative things about Zillow, of course.
Yeah, I did it for a while. I wasn't too happy.
Right. See, and for me, like when I first jumped into real estate, I didn't know really. I'm not from here. I'm from Michigan, so I didn't like have a lot of those family and friends and stuff here. So I ended up just doing Zillow and getting into the Nashville area, like kind of in the not the greatest area of Nashville, but it's what I could afford on Zillow.
Okay.
And of course, when you're into it, at least for me, once I jumped into it head first, I was just every single Zillow lead, I would just call and call and call and go meet and show. And
That's what you got to do.
yeah, and thankfully, some of those turned out where, I was paying, I think it was right around $800 a month in the beginning, and of course, it doesn't take too many deals to pay for that. So I've definitely made money off of it.
Nice.
And like in the last 2 years, though, I've had a local lender go in and they pay half of it. So now I've bumped it up to $2,000 a month.
Nice.
They pay half of it, so it's still $1,000 a month, which our market's been good, so it works out. Like last week I had one of the closings from people that moved from Seattle, and it was $415, I think. So that pays pretty much for the year. So
Beautiful.
But I also get a ton of leads that are trash.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If to make it worth it, you got to follow up. The worst thing for me was when I would kind of slack off a little bit, and then I'd be like, "Oh man, I got to call." I would go back through. You have the leads forever. There's just that list of them, and you can go back to day one. And I'd start going, and I'd work my way back, and then I'd go back maybe like 6 months back. And the guy would answer his phone, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, we bought a house already."
Yeah.
And I'd freaking throw things. It was like I freaking hated myself because I knew that was my deal. I just dropped the ball. It's all about following up, man. It's all about following up, and that's one thing that, like, if you're good at that the Zillow leads, you'll crush those Zillow leads.
Right. And you know what I kind of noticed, as of course, when you start, you take any deal you can. And I still take any deal I can, even though technically, I'm probably a little bit pickier, I guess, as far as how hard I go after a deal. But what I kind of noticed worked out for me on Zillow, especially, is because of the price range of the zip code that I was paying for. A lot of them are first-time home buyers, and those guys, they're not as savvy, I guess, in a sense, as far as when you get up to the more expensive houses. So you can call them, you call them as the lead, and they just assume, they just kind of go with what you say, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where now with a lot of these guys that come from California and they're calling, they're wondering, they're looking for the listing agent, and they're looking for ways to kind of skirt around it. It's more difficult, I've noticed, when you get up to the higher price range than it is the first-time home buyers are just a lot more easy to work with, I felt, and more grateful, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, that's, I think, what worked out for me as far as the Zillow part of it is a lot of them are have been first-time home buyers in the past anyway. So
yeah.
But it's getting hard now for first-time home buyers to be able to afford anything, though. That's something that we're kind of dealing with right now. It's
because and there's no houses for them. They're all getting bid up, and people are
they're doing FHA or VA and getting passed over.
Yeah. Vdub.
Luckily, Jason Griggs and you laid out the strategy, though, how you can possibly get in the market.
That's it, man.
Right. Yep, that's awesome. But anyway.
Awesome. Well, you got to call back next week. You got to let us know how this. Well, can you give us the property address? I want to look it up. I want to check it out.
Yeah. 169 Forest Ridge Road.
Forest Ridge Road.
You know, I'm gonna look it up afterward, but I almost feel like this was for sale like 2 years ago as an off-grid property and had a bunch of solar. I feel like just the address sounds familiar from
What city?
It's in Hohenwald. Hohenwald.
What is it?
Hohenwald.
I'm gonna check it out. You gotta give us a call. Give us a call. Set that appointment up, and let us know how that showing went.
Yeah,
love it. Big real estate day today. We'll get into it again next week.
All right,
Until
pal.
then, awesome, brother.
Later.
Until then, Aaron, it's been real, man. What a great episode. Jason Griggs dropping some incredible knowledge.
Oh, incredible. For those that say you can't do it, I think you guys really laid the roadmap. Hernando Laranja said Eddie Bravo would have loved it.
Hernando, my man. Hernando's got to call in next week. Next week, we gotta talk to Hernando. We gotta get him on here.
Absolutely, next week for sure. Interesting fella.
But until then, that's Aaron, and you can call me Al. Aaron, hit that damn music. Get out of here.
Thanks for listening to Call Me Al with Al Iaquinta. Remember to subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen.
I can call you Betty.